Hello all and welcome, and I am the MGTOW philosopher. In this video I would like to discuss the subject of divorce and how it is encouraged by the state. Now, divorce, when we think of it, we think of last resort. We think of, they entered the marriage with the best of intentions, but for one reason or another, things went bad. However, the truth of the matter is that divorce is an incentive to a woman to get married. That's right. Women want to get divorced. When the majority of women get married, they are looking forward to, they are hoping for a divorce. For you see, divorce pays vast dividends to women. While it benefits men in no way, and in fact is a net negative, for women it's a net positive. So let me explain more. First of all, most women, yes, they get married because they want security. That's a code word for money. They want stability, which means money. That is the majority of women, okay? So men, on average, have money, more money than women. And so the woman, if she makes money, well, she wants that to be her mad money, her play money. She doesn't actually want to spend her money on anything that isn't about her. So she'll spend it on her, but not on him. So she wants somebody who will pay the bills. So that's marriage, okay? And so she'll put in her prerequisite time until she can get the big payout, okay? And depending on what state you are in, you might have to pay alimony forever. That is a pretty big incentive to get married. Now, say you are a pathological liar, you are a psycho, you are a sociopath. Let's say you are a pathological gold digger, basically the majority of women. You want to marry a man who has the most resources and will provide you with the most, quote unquote, stability. And because marriage has been incentivized by the state, women get married so they can get divorced in the vast majority of cases. Now, what do I mean by incentivized by the state? Well, for one thing, the state grants divorce for nothing. Now, it used to be that divorce was a mutually binding contract that was very difficult to get out of. And even in many cases, the man, if he didn't grant a divorce, it would be very difficult, if not impossible, to get divorced. You would have to show cause. You would have to show cause. And if you couldn't show cause, well, then you weren't getting a divorce. And there were various causes. You know, for example, he's beating you up, cheating on you, or she was cheating on him. But you had to be able to show cause. Who was at fault? Now, we have the most ridiculous idea that is no-fault divorce. And since women initiate the vast majority of divorces, they always have, because men are much easier to please than women. Because that's the case, we needed no-fault divorce. Because women, as emotional as they are, will just get divorced on a whim. Oh, he said something I don't like. Oh, divorce him. Oh, he took away the power by standing up to me. Oh, it's divorce time. Now, of course, in the past, no, you couldn't get divorced because of this. Oh, you're unhappy? Why? What did he do? Geez, nothing. Sorry, no divorce. Now, what did he do? Nothing. Okay, we'll get you divorced anyway because there's no fault divorce. And you could, of course, get half his shit even though you did absolutely nothing. Sounds like a pretty good incentive program to me. I'm going to sign up. So, women are incentivized to get divorced by no-fault divorce and a court system that is loaded with liberals, which is just another word for feminists because they're both the same thing. Cultural Marxism. So all these cultural Marxists running around, they see the woman, they see victim, they see oppressed, they see man, they see oppressor. He's got to go down. He's automatically in the wrong. And because these liberal universities have been pumping out liberals for the past 50, 60 odd years, without end, without interruption, you now have the court systems and pretty much everywhere full of liberals. And so they always side with the woman because she's the oppressed. Automatically. Identity politics makes that the case. You're a woman, you're automatically oppressed. No question. We don't want to look at the individual. We're going to look at you as a group. You're oppressed. You get free shit. You get goodies. You get his goodies because he has more, you have less. We need to redistribute that wealth, and here we have a perfect legal justification to do so. The legally binding marriage contract, and we're going to enforce that to the utmost and take half his shit, maybe more if we can. Maybe we'll give you the house. Hell, we'll give you the car too if we can find some kind of justification to be as fair as possible because he's the oppressor. Well, we will do that. So women are absolutely incentivized to get divorced, which means they're incentivized to get married too. I mean, why do you think women are the ones that want to get married? Why do you think women ain't running around and saying I don't want to get married. I can. Yeah, they say they can take care of themselves, but they want to get married, right? And then they divorce, and then they can take care of themselves. Then at that time they're saying, yeah, I don't need a man. Well, sure, you took half his shit. Of course, that'll end after a few years, after she's blown through the money, and she'll be looking for another sucker. But by and large, women need men. We don't need them. And the state incentivizes women to get married so they can get divorced. The marriage itself is not the goal. The divorce is the goal, but you have to get married first. So hence the search for the man with the most resources, which in this day and age means money. Back in caveman days, it was the guy that was the biggest, the strongest, that was the best hunter, that could provide the most food, that had all the best furs and skins, and he found the best dwelling place, and he was the best provider in that way. But today, it's all about money. It's all about money, honey. And when you incentivize a woman to get free shit if she just marries some poor guy, some dude, then you're incentivizing divorce. And that's why divorces that are an all-time high. They're over 50%, actually. More like close to 60% in the West. So that's why divorce is highly incentivized. Now, you would think the state would want to keep people together if you don't know anything about how the state works and if you don't know anything about cultural Marxism. But the truth is, the state is incentivized to both get people married and then get them divorced. And the reason is so that men can be disenfranchised, can be depowered, dethroned, and their resources redistributed to women, who will use them in the most frivolous way possible, just by spend, which is great for a cultural Marxist economy. Just consume. Don't produce anything, just consume. Yeah, that's great for a debt-based economy, too. They love that. Just spend. Crazy mad money. All the money's mad money. That's great. That's why 70% of consumers are women, not men. The men tend to save their money. Another reason to encourage divorce. Big business encourages divorce so that women will get more money that they can then spend, because men are more conservative with their money. They tend to save it. Women tend to spend it. Women don't tend to worry as much about the future, again, because they lack reason and accountability, so they don't hold themselves accountable for their own futures. So there's a myriad of reasons why the government, the state, and big business, and the global elites who push the cultural Marxism and want global communism, there's a myriad of reasons why all those people want divorce. For the cultural Marxists, well, it's a way to depower, defund the supposed oppressor, and to empower the oppressed, who is really just a sucker, who is a useful idiot, who is being used to promote a specific agenda. And by big business, it's a way to, of course, get more money. Yeah. And for the state, it's a way to get more tax dollars. And for the cultural Marxist, it has another useful effect, which is breaking up the family. Okay, and disenfranchising men, making them feel powerless, and ensuring that you have a single-family household that is, in the majority of cases, run by a woman who will indoctrinate that child to be a future cultural Marxist. And if it's a man, she will take away his masculinity and turn him into a eunuch, essentially turn him into a man-girl, a woman, which is another reason why we see such a rise in transgenderism. Okay? from just a fringe thing to now some kind of virtue signaling, wonderful movement that is this oppressed class that is just such a wonderful class. That's why it's become so popular lately. Okay? So there's a myriad of reasons why all the lefties, from those in government to big business to the cultural Marxist elites, want divorce. And the woman, really, for her, it's all about selfishness. Her, me, her feelings, and that's it. So it serves the woman, it serves the state by collecting more taxes, it serves the cultural Marxist elites because they break up the family and further indoctrinate the youth into the ideals of feminism, cultural Marxism, basically. And it is good for, and it's good for big business because, hey, women spend more money and then they get more money when they break up with the man, and then they have even more money to spend. And then they go into debt, which the bankers like because the economy in America and in the West is, generally speaking, a debt-based one. So the more money you spend, the more you go into debt, which creates more money overall, which makes them more powerful. Oh, it's just such a wonderful system. Yes. And of course, the only person that loses out is half the population, which is men. All men, including the idiot, useful fools who are men and are also feminists and cultural Marxists, and they're cutting their own throats and they're too indoctrinated to even know it. Divorce, no-fault divorce, is one of the great scourges on mankind. Notice I said mankind, on men. And it's one of the tools of the left to destroy the family and undermine society and traditional family values in the West. And until it is done away with, and marriage becomes a more serious, stable institution that encourages couples to stay together instead of encouraging them to get divorced, which is absolutely positively what marriage has become. An institution that is only encouraged so that a divorce can happen and a redistribution of funds can take place. Until that happens and marriage becomes a real institution again that is respected, and that the state and the church and people in general actively focus on making more stable by taking away this no-fault nonsense, only then will marriage possibly be an alternative for men. But a lot of other things would need to change too. But the no-fault divorce thing, which is in truth incentivized divorce, needs to end before any of that could even begin to happen. So think twice about getting married, because the odds are she's just looking for a divorce in the future. And half your shit. I am the MGTOW philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.